It's a joy to be here today with all of you. Clearly, I'm not Colby. Colby was unable to be with us today, so I'm sort of filling in for her. My name is Susan Schueler, and it's lovely to see all of your wonderful faces. So I'm trying to keep everything the same way that Colby likes to do it, because for any of you who know Colby, she's very particular. Sorry, Colby, if you're listening. So we want to keep it the same way. So the first thing that we'd like to do is I would like to share with you a channeled message that I had channeled earlier today. Before we do that, however, I would like to set the stage by having us sort of align our minds with our hearts. So if everybody would right now close your eyes, and with the prayer position in front of your heart, go ahead and close your eyes. And I just want you to slowly connect into your heart space and breathe in for 4 counts. And then blow out for 4 counts. And breathe in for 4 counts. And blow out for 4 counts. Breathe in. Release. Okay, go back to the room. That just allows your heart to sort of catch up with your mind, and so you can connect the two. If you're ever feeling stressed throughout the day, I highly suggest doing that. It's a really great way of centering yourself. All right, so welcome. We'd like to welcome the spirit world. We'd like to welcome the divine force of all that is. And I would like to start with the channeled message. So, I've noticed sometimes that you can listen better when your eyes are closed, so I want you to close your eyes right now. We see all the many thoughts swirling through your head on any given day. The time is now to step away from all those pretty, shiny things that distract you from the true purpose you have set for yourself long before you arrived in this particular human form. You know what you wish to do, or at least there is a vague knocking on the back of your mind, attempting to get your attention. For most of you, there are many things that fall on this list, but since you know not how they will come to fruition, you put them off for another day, playing with your modern distractions instead. Let us remind you. That is part of the reason they are in place today, to keep you from realizing your goals. You feel the energy pulsing through your body. You know this rhythm of life. Yet, until you truly tap into the potential of your soul, you are not walking the walk of your authentic self. You crave the connection with spirit, with the feelings you receive. So stop running toward your material world, focusing far too much on things that matter not. Begin to build what you came here to do. We, and this means the planet, your fellow man, all living creatures, and the souls of those all around you in the many, many dimensions. We need your help, your gifts, your level of tenacity, and your discipline. Every one of you comes forward today with special abilities, gifts, and experiences that make you totally unique and special. This is not a platitude. This is the truth. Yet, how much are you embracing these imprints on your soul? Stop wasting time and placing focus on the things that are not meant for you. You are meant for you. The bells are ringing that serve as an awakening alarm clock. The sound is increasing. Stop covering your ears. We beseech you today to listen to the angels of your better nature. Begin to do what you came here to do. Surrender to the spirit that wants to help propel you forward. None of you are alone, regardless of how you might feel most days. We sit on the sidelines, cheering you, guiding you, supporting you, being on call at any time. You are not alone, ever. You can open your eyes. It was interesting, when I channeled that message, that wasn't at all what I intended to talk about. I love when that happens. It's sort of like, you know how that expression goes, you know, you make plans and God laughs. So God was definitely laughing at me. And I think with most of us that do this type of work, very often you're like, that was totally directed at me. But how many of you felt like that was totally directed at you? All right, so this is a call to arms, and that's the best way that I can put today's message. As I said, when I sat down to do this, I was like, okay, no, I'm open, but this is the theme that I want. And I immediately heard a master teacher that I work with, whose name is Jacob. I met Jacob years ago when I first did my first Reiki class. And his voice is very distinct in my ear when I hear him, and I know I'm going to be lectured whenever I hear him, because he is a no-nonsense teacher who takes no prisoners. You know what I mean? He's just that type of a guy. So I definitely felt like it was going to be a strict message. So I do feel this is a call for action that we are having today. If you think about the last century, kind of go back and think about the 30s, the 40s, there were very, very hard times. People didn't necessarily have the ability, the resources to start thinking about their higher levels of raising their consciousness, because they were trying to put food on the table, feed themselves, take care of themselves. There were wars going on. In the 60s, there was a shift, okay? The peace, love, and all of that. And those of us that might be a little bit old enough to remember this, we remember the time of peace and love. As the 70s progressed, the 80s progressed, we saw this going, it started to pick up steam. By the time we got to the 90s, I should say the 80s, the 90s, and especially as we got close to around 2012, I think many of us were being hit over the head with this level of, it's time to wake up, we're not kidding. And we see things that are going on in the planet right now, and it's like, we need to wake up, we need to shift. But you might ask yourself, well, okay, great, how do I do that? I have certain things that I'd like to do, but I don't know how I'm going to do that. And so we start panicking because we don't get the how. And it's sort of like putting the cart before the horse. All right? First of all, you have to trust, you have to believe, and you have to surrender. And that's so hard. I don't know about the rest of you, but I pretty much raised myself. And I know that was the generation where a lot of us pretty much raised ourselves. So I was the belief system that if it was to be, it was up to me. So you push, 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 push. And it's really hard to surrender into something because you're used to trying to control the ship. But with this work, and when I say this work, I'm not just talking about, I'm a psychic medium. It can be like, I'm a mother and I'm trying to raise children who are more conscious of their environment and the planet. We all have different areas that we're kind of zoning in on. And I feel like that's exactly what this message was talking about. We can't sit idly anymore. We have to start progressing. Even if we're not absolutely sure where this is going to end up, because I'll be honest, I don't think any of us know where this is going to end up. But we know that we are, right now, a community. But we're no longer, if you look back in the 40s and 50s especially, where it was more like kind of this meistic time, where it was capitalism at its best, how can we get that house in the burbs, all of that sort of stuff. And now we see buildings are being built in cities where they live to work right underneath them. So our communities are pulling together because we know we need to do that. We know that's what we're supposed to be doing. So it has to start with each one of us. And remember, I just have to share this because to me this was crushing to think that people still think this way. There was a post on Facebook not too long ago, and I said something about we are one. And somebody chimed in and said, oh, you're a socialist. And I was like, excuse me? So there are people who may not be on the same page we are, but we have to rise above that. And so I'm asking you right now to go home today and to just really sit and reflect. What do you want to do? How can you start hearing those alarm bells that are going off, and they're going off kind of loudly? How can you move forward today to make it happen? Okay? Does everybody understand that? That's your homework assignment. Everybody's got to do it. All right, so thank you very much. That's my little piece to share with you today.